Hi, Sandra here from Create in Spain, and today I wanted to give you a little tutorial on how to make rotating embellishments for cards. I've seen various tutorials on this and they all seem to use the same method, which is basically using a mini brad and the little sticker tape things that you know, double-sided foam bits. Now the trouble is with that is that my circumstances at the moment mean that the humidity in the air is absolutely horrendous, and my foam sticky tape stuff is really difficult to cut in any shape or form whatsoever. And the other thing is I don't have any mini brads, which kind of precludes me from doing it, except the fact I've worked out a different way. So here we go. I have my card base and I have made a hole here. I've made it quite big so you can see it. On the back I have put my sticky tape. Now the hole needs to be in a little bit from the edge of the sticky tape because you don't want anything catching on that when it's finished. Alright, so it does need to be in a bit. So make sure that you've got at least ½ centimetre, well, preferably actually a centimetre, between the hole and your sticky backed tape. So I've done that. And the embellishment I wanted to use was this little owl, so I was going to put him on there. So I've drawn my branch, which I wanted him to sit on, and I thought it would be easier to do that than try and draw it when I've got my embellishment actually fixed on. So I've got that in place. So I have my embellishment, which has a little bit of scrap card to stiffen it on the back because it wasn't done out of very thick card. If you're doing these on purpose to make them spin, I would suggest that you make them out of the thickest card that you're comfortable using. I have another little disc of card with a hole in the centre, and this has to fit behind your embellishment, unless of course you're making a bigger one that you don't mind showing, but I want mine hidden, so it's got to fit behind my embellishment there. I have a button, a very small button, it's like a shirt button, and a small piece of florist wire. It could be any thin wire really, or it could even be one of those old-fashioned hair grips, not the plastic coated ones but the plain wire ones, and I've put it through two opposite holes of my button. Now the back of the button really does need to be a flat one, preferably something nice and flat. Doesn't matter so much about the front, but the flat back is quite handy to have. Now the first thing I'm going to do is to stick my piece of card, the one with a hole, on the back of this button. That's if I can get my glue gun to play nicely, because it's a good idea to have a glue gun with a fine point, except when you pull the trigger and no glue comes out. So actually what I'm going to do is stick these two ends through my hole first, so I've got it in place. And I'm going to try, now I'm going to have to use the other hand to get a nice wad of glue on the back of there, and then put it so that, whoops, I've got glue all the way round the button. There's a reason for that, which I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so what you don't want, I'm just going to use one of my dental picks here to manipulate this hot glue a bit. It's a bit of a messy job this, especially when you're trying to do it in front of a camera and everything is almost bound to go wrong because that's the way things are. Okay, which has not gone too badly. What you want to try and make sure is that the button doesn't have any gaps, because you don't want your cord that you're going to put on to get stuck in the gaps in between the button and the card. You're basically making a very, very squat cotton reel almost, and that is what you need to be doing. Now the next bit of this is our cord, and what I'm going to do is just stick a little glue on the top here and just put my cord onto it just to fasten it on there. And now I'm going to put a bigger blob of glue over the top of that, if I can get enough glue out. It's very difficult to do this and try filming at the same time. Now to make it flat, I'm going to stick it down directly onto my silicone mat. If you're using a silicone mat, which I advise if you're using a hot glue gun, it's great because it's not going to stick to this, but at the same time it'll give me a flat edge. So you can see hopefully that this has now covered the button on that side. My cord is well stuck. I would really have great difficulty in breaking that. It's nice and strong. So I've got the button there, I've got my cord, and basically all I need to do now is to put my little design on. So I'm not going to put the design on at the moment. I'm going to show you what happens to this. You need to put it through the hole, turn it over, and you need some wire snips, and hopefully mine will cut this. They're a little blunt, my wire snips. I'll try and get them sharpened or get some more. There we go. And the other one, hopefully. Come on. There we go. And now you want to carefully pry these apart as if it were a brad. And I'm going to use a pair of pliers just to pull them out. There we go. And what I'm going to do when I actually glue this onto my surface, I'm actually going to snip that back there so that this bit of wire is not going to interfere with any glue. I could actually shorten it, which actually probably would be the easier option, wouldn't it? If I shorten it just a bit, if I can actually do that. I said my wire snips are not playing very well, so just, done it. Oops, I heard that going somewhere. I'm going to have to find that later. Right, so I have this here, and all I have to do now is add some glue. Actually, I'll put it on here because it'll be easier to put it on here than it will be to put it elsewhere. Alright, there we go. Another blob of glue, and put my embellishment on the top. Now again, I'm going to turn it over and press from the back so that it's flat. Take my glue gun out of the way. In fact, I'm going to unplug it. I've finished with that. Okay, now you do want to make sure that this is dry before you wind it up, preferably. So if this sticks, I will not be happy, but the idea is you wind up the cord, and when you pull the cord, ta-da, he spins. So I know that it's working. Now for the end of this, what I'm going to do, because I have little flowers on there, I'm going to cut out a couple of little cardboard flowers and just glue that onto the end of this. And I think it would be self-explanatory that you're expected to pull it. In fact, I don't think I know of anyone who would get a card with a piece of string on it and not pull it. So I'm not going to bother with a little sign that says, pull me. I'm just going to have the little flower dangling. And I think it will be very obvious that it just needs to be pulled, and therefore it will spin very nicely. Okay, so that's how you do it. You then need to make sure that these are nicely flat on the back, not sticking up. And then you stick that to your card. Now I apologise if this isn't the best video you've ever seen, because it's very difficult for me to do this with my camera in place in front of me and see what I'm trying to record at the same time, and in fact see what I'm doing when normally I've got to take my glasses off and put them back on again for different distances as well. So I do apologise for that, but it gives you the idea of how it's done without having to have the brads and without messing around with cutting sticky foam stuff in humid climates. Okay, hope you found that useful. Thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.